Last Labor Day, Kevin Kinard made a trip from Central Arkansas over into Murfreesboro to visit Crater of Diamonds State Park. He then found the second largest diamond ever found in the park, one that is a little over 9 carats. I talked to Kevin and Wayman Cox of Crater of Diamonds State Park about that day and how you can give it a shot too. It sounds like your visit is that Labor Day weekend, is that right?
That's correct, yes.
Yeah. So what did your day look like? You passed through the gates and then what?
When I was planning for that weekend, Labor Day weekend, we were trying to figure out, me and my friends, what to do. And so we had originally tried to book tickets Saturday and Sunday, and they were sold out.
Yeah.
And then it was like, well, hey, it's a holiday weekend, so we booked them. And then, of course, we took off early that morning. I think we left about 5 that morning.
Yeah, right.
3-hour drive here from Little Rock, but stopped and had breakfast. But we that weekend we had went and shopped at Home Depot, went and got 5-gallon buckets, and even went to the market to get strainers. I mean, because during the pandemic, you can't, they don't have all the equipment.
Yeah,
right
it's some things have changed up. Yeah.
It has. So we get there early after 8 o'clock, and I immediately say, I burn easily. It was gonna be hot that day, so I said, let's take off this way to the southeast corner. And there in the corner, we had set up. We had our lawn chairs, we had all of our equipment and stuff. And
find a shady spot.
Yeah. So, but on the way, as me and my friends are walking through, and we're carrying, we had like crackers and some Gatorades, and we were carrying a lot of stuff, but I'm already starting to reach down and start picking stuff up. We were going to do the wet sifting is what everybody originally wanted to do. Well, I immediately started taking off, and I just started walking up and down, and I probably spent the first hour and a half, just searching. And I can't tell you exactly where I found that diamond. I just know that I was kind of around the southeast corner.
We've made a couple of visits to Crater of Diamonds, and it seems like we on one of our visits we had a big rain overnight, and then it seemed to us all the locals showed up the next morning. So I think there might be something to having a big rain. That's kind of the secret, and then you could just pick them up off the top of the ground, right? Wayman, does that happen a lot?
That happens quite a bit, actually. We do have a lot of people that know about the rain. It helps to uncover diamonds. Diamonds are a little heavier than other stuff out here, and so they'll tend to show up after a good rainstorm. And I think it was Hurricane Laura that had come through just a few days before Kevin made his find. So
yeah,
lots of rain definitely helped this last year.
It kind of washed the dust off of the top, huh?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Well, okay. So, Kevin, the end of the day, you had a bunch of you had some quartz, and I read a marble-sized little something there. And so, what happened next?
As we're leaving, and at the station where they check your diamonds and stuff, the first question we ask is, where do we get our passport stamp? We're not even focused on having our stuff checked. So they said up at the visitor center, so we all head up. And so we're all leaving, and we said, well, let's unload all this stuff. And so I was getting my passport out of the car, and then one of my friends said, are we going to get our stuff checked? And I said, yeah. So we headed back down. So we almost missed it, but anyhow, so we head back down. My friend, she has hers checked. My buddy, he already threw his stuff away.
Oh.
And I go to the bathroom, and then so I come back out, and she runs into the bathroom. And so I dump out my stuff, had a Ziploc bag. And so she starts kind of looking at everything, said, this is quartz, this is that. And then she picks up the diamond, and she kind of looks at it for a second, and she puts it in a small little tube, and she said, I'm going to take this to management. So I thought, So she takes it in there, and then a few minutes later, they come out, and they let us go back behind the rope. They have it roped off. And so we're sitting over there, or not sitting, but we're standing over there kind of waiting. My other friend comes out of the bathroom and said, what are y'all doing? We're like, might have found something. So she comes back behind. They let her back there too, and I can't remember her name that came out, but she had a clipboard. Said, "Who found it?" And I said, "I did." So we asked then. We still had no idea what I had. We asked, "Is it a diamond?" And she said, "Yes."
Wow.
And by then, I'm excited, kind of, and shaking. But I think, and I don't know if I'm exaggerating, Wayman, but I think it was 25 minutes before I finally got to go back, because I think they had everybody coming in and out, and by then we're like, what the world's going on? So that was leading up to when we found it. And then, so they finally come out and they get me and they let me go back there. And of course, they've got it under the microscope and they said, "Here's your diamond." Still have no idea. And of course, and I should have went back, as the few times that I've been down there, I should have went back into the visitor center. I should have looked at, because they've got them on display smaller.
Yeah, you can see what to look for. Yeah.
And so I see it there, still not realizing the size of it. And so I'm looking at it. And then I think she says, "Why don't you have a seat?" And so that's when.
Well, that's a good sign.
Yeah, that is a good sign. And then I think when they told me, and I still, still today, I'm still kind of surreal, but when they told me I found a 9-carat diamond, I just, and I did tear up. I really did. It just was overwhelming and shocking.
Well, yeah, you don't really expect,
No.
So it's surreal, I'm sure.
Yes.
Well, so Wayman, his was the second largest found in the park's history since 1972. Right. Is that right?
Right.
Yeah.
Broke a record that's stood since since 1981 was the previous second largest diamond. So it was a extremely historic moment for Kevin as well.
Well, so and y'all have got, I think you find 3 different colored diamonds there, and his was a
white, brown, and yellow. Yeah.
Okay. And his was a brown, brandy colored, right?
Kind of a brandy color. Rounded, kind of dimpled surface. Main thing that we look at is the overall shape of the diamond. When we identify them, we look for smooth, rounded facets. All of the diamonds that are found out here went through a process, kind of like a melting or partial dissolving of the crystal during the eruption that actually brought them up. And so that's one of the key features we look for.
Well, yeah, because in that area, and I know around the region down there's a lot of crystal quartz to be found. Sure. And in the park, there's quartz alongside the diamond. So you need to know what you're looking for.
You're probably going to find some quartz. Yeah.
Yeah. Right. But it doesn't always work the other way around, though, huh?
No, unfortunately.
Right. Well, we kind of touched on it earlier, but while I've got you, Wayman, so since COVID hit, the park had closed for a little while until everybody kind of figured out a plan. And now, how do people get to visit Crater of Diamond State Park? What's that?
Right. So the search area was closed about 2 months last year. The park itself was still open, campground and trails and things were, but people weren't able to search for diamonds for a couple of months. When it reopened, and up until now, we do have limited visitation, 1,500 a day. Definitely recommend people buy tickets online. That's something new they started after COVID hit. And so we set up a web page. They can go to our website at craterofdiamondstatepark.com, and there's a link right at the top of the page that you can go to actually buy tickets in advance. If you know when you're wanting to come visit, to make sure that you can get in for sure, especially when weather warms up this spring. We'll have a lot of people come down. So that's the best way to do it, is buy them online.
Yeah, that way you're sure to make it in, because there's a limited number that are admitted, and that sounds really smart. And people need to bring their own equipment now.
Right.
Is that right?
Not renting equipment right now. Haven't had any word as to when we might resume doing that. We do have tools, but we're not able to, unfortunately, rent those out at the time. So we do have, we do recommend people bring their own tools. There are a number of businesses in Murfreesboro that have started renting or selling their own equipment.
Well, Kevin, you may not want to talk about it, but what does the future of your diamond have in store? Do you know yet?
Yeah, so I've actually been working with a gemologist, and I had reached out to him and said, hey, is it okay if I let them know our plans? And he said, absolutely. So I've been working with Toddy Petard out of Hot Springs, Arkansas. He owns Laray's Jewelry Store. And back in November, we were going to fly to New York. So we're taking the diamond to New York. I'm excited about that, but haven't got to go yet because of the pandemic, but that is the plan. So he's looked at it, and I'm very excited about, when we kind of like what Wayman was talking about, when we get it to New York, I had a lot of questions is, is it going to lose its value? Is it going to be, what's the best way? Is it worth more if it's cut but so that's the whole purpose. We're going down there, and they're going to be able to put it under like a 40 layer machine to kind of say, hey, if it's, based off of the shape of it and this and that, you would end up with a, 6.5 carat diamond versus, anyhow. They also want to polish a small piece of it. He wants to make sure that, the true color, that's another thing that they kind of talked about. But that's the plan.
Wow. What an adventure.
This year already, we've had over 10 diamonds found.
Yeah.
Usually average a couple a day, 1 to 2 every day. Even with with the search area being closed to the public for 2 months, last year we had 353 diamonds found. So that's, despite being closed, it was one of our biggest years for as far as weight. We had 17 diamonds that weighed over 1 carat each. That includes, including Kevin's diamond. That's just one less than what we had in 2019, being the whole year. So it was a huge year for us.
Thank you, Kevin and Wayman, for visiting with me. That was a really fun story, and I'm inspired to go to Murfreesboro the next time it rains. Thank you, Only in Arkansas, for sponsoring this video. Life's what you make it. Let's get our hands dirty.